Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video on the 3D Critic channel. I'm David, your host, and today I'm going to give you guys my performance review on the Anta Kai ones. I was lucky enough to get myself a pair of these from Anta when they dropped. At first I didn't get it, but luckily they opened a spot up, that way I can get myself a pair. And I have it now on me, and here is what I think of them. Firstly, when it comes to the trying experience, it was very easy to put on. Once you loosen up the laces, it was pretty straightforward, so you won't have any hurdles that you have to go through just to get them on. And as far as sizing is concerned, once you break in the materials, the width of the shoe is nice and snug, and it does open up a little bit once you break it in. However, it does run a little long, and you will have a little bit of dead space here in the forefoot. So because of that, I will go true to size for me personally. However, if you have a narrow foot, I would probably go down half a size. And if you're a wide footer, I would go up half a size, but I would be wary of it because the higher size you get, the longer length that you're going to get on the shoe. So I would avoid this if you have a really wide foot. As far as upcoming releases go of the Kai ones, these have sold out. However, on June 5th, there is going to be a playoff energy colorway coming out on Anta. So I will leave a link in the description box below if you guys are interested in getting yourself a pair of those. It is an exclusive drop, so it's a first come, first served basis. And they'll be releasing on June 5th at 12 p.m. Eastern if you guys want to stay on top of that. I will leave, again, a link in the description box below if you guys are interested. Now, as far as the traction goes, I found it to be pretty good overall for the most part when it comes to a clean court. With lateral movements, it was really good going from side to side. That way you have really good grip, going from side to side and being really shifty, trying to get open or being a sticky defender. However, there was a few instances where I slid underneath of it a little bit, and it slid a good bit when I tried to put my foot down on a hard cut. So that was a little concerning, but once you wipe it down, it's pretty good. At the end of the day, it is a flat outsole, so there isn't going to be much wear, and there is an additional traction pattern layer on top of the traction pattern itself to give it that a little extra grip and extra tackiness on the floor. So that was pretty good overall for the most part when it comes to lateral movements. Vertically, the hard stops are very good, along with really snappy get-offs. That way you get a really quick first step. That way you're able to get up to speed really quickly, trying to get open for a shot and doing a hard cut as well. So overall, it was pretty good laterally and vertically on a clean court for the most part. On dusty courts, it does pick up dust, but it's only consolidated along the arch of the foot, and it is kind of hard to wipe off in that area. But for the rest of the outsole, it doesn't really stick, and for the dust that picked up on the arch, I would just wipe it really hard, and then it would come off. So for the most part, on dusty courts, it is pretty good. And the durability as well is pretty good. The only sign of wear that I've experienced on an indoor court is in the high wear areas where the traction pattern itself is balding out from the rest of the outsole itself. But aside from that, that's the only wear that I have experienced. But I would avoid these outdoors because the rubber itself is kind of soft, and it will eat through that initial layer of the traction setup, and it will start to burn out a little bit over time, especially in the high wear areas. So keep that in mind. I would keep these indoors specifically. So overall, it's a pretty reliable setup, and I was quite surprised by the performance considering that it is a flat based outsole. Now, when you move into the cushion, you are getting a full-length nitro edge foam, which is a nitro infused foam. And in the forefoot, I found them to be really nice and really responsive in the forefoot. I was able to be really quick on the forefoot especially, and it has a really nice bounce as well. Combined with the carbon fiber shank that you get in the midfoot, it gives you a nice springboard-like effect. That way you're able to generate a lot of air to get rebounds, blocks, etc. in that area. So it was a really lively shoe in the forefoot. And in the heel, I found them to be very comfortable and very forgiving. It felt really nice and plush once you broke it in. And on top of that, the impact protection was very good, so that it will eat heel strikes like it's nothing. So I really liked how plush the heel cushioning was overall, and it was very forgiving to say the least. And as far as fluidity goes, they are very fluid. Because of the forgiveness in the heel cushioning, it makes the heel to toe transitions pretty much seamless and really smooth. With the carbon fiber shank, it adds a level of springiness. That way every single stride is very lively and you're able to go up and down the court very easily as a result of that. So when it comes to the overall cushion, it is one of the best that I have tried so far, rivaling top tier cushioning setups from other brands like Nike, Way of Wade, Adidas, New Balance even, and it is well in the mix with those kinds of shoes. Now when you get into the materials, it's basically a textile mesh build with a good bit of fused overlays wrapped around the shoe itself with this quilted texture that you get in the forefoot. And overall, when it comes to comfort, it is really comfortable once you break it in. At first, the materials felt a little stiff in the forefoot where it does rub against your toes a little bit. But once you break it in, it opens up and it feels really nice and plush, especially on the forefoot. When you move into the midfoot, the tongue is nicely padded on the top and is very breathable. That way you won't experience any pinching and any sweating when it comes to the inside of the shoe. And in the back, you're going to get some nice padding in the heel as well, which felt really comfortable under my foot, and it conformed to my foot very nicely. That way I didn't experience any discomfort from the forefoot, midfoot, as well as in the heel, and it was pretty comfortable to say the least. Aesthetically, there is a lot of detail in this shoe, so much to the point where you can write a book about it. The forefoot, the quilted pattern that you get is really cool in my opinion, and it is very aesthetically pleasing. And the hieroglyphics that you see around the shoe and the forefoot, the midfoot strap, as well as in the heel, along with the Anta's logo that is incorporated sticking out laterally and blending with the midsole on the medial side is a nice touch. That way it's nice and subtle. And the cherry on the cake is the new Kyrie logo that Kyrie has with Anta, which is even better than the older one in my opinion. And the box that it comes with is actually pretty cool as well, with all of the messages that it has along with the Kyrie logo as well. And it is one of the most beautiful, aesthetically pleasing shoes that I have seen so far this year. And on top of that, it is pretty comfortable with the build that you get with the textile material as well as the fused overlays and the nice padding that you get inside the shoe. It is overall a well-rounded shoe when it comes to the materials, comfortably and aesthetically. As far as the lockdown is concerned, it is pretty solid at the end of the day. The forefoot, because the length of the shoe is a little long, you do slide a little bit in the forefoot when you're doing hard stops, but luckily because of the snugness in the width, you don't move around that much in the forefoot, so it does its job with what you're getting when it comes to that. When you move into the midfoot, it is really good with the cabled lacing system that you have that allows you to cinch the laces really tightly, along with a pull strap that attaches to the medial and wraps all the way to the lateral side of the shoe. Just adds extra containment in the midfoot. That way you won't move around at all. And the heel, the padding hugs the heel really well. That way you won't experience any heel slippage from what I've experienced. Combined with the midfoot lockdown that you get, along with the snugness that you get width-wise, you're basically not going to move at all when it comes to the heel, and I didn't experience any heel slippage at that. Aside from that, lockdown is pretty solid, minus the issues that you're going to have when it comes to hard stops where it does slide a little bit in the forefoot. And lastly, for the support, it ticks the boxes of almost everything that you need in a basketball shoe. With the lateral support, it is very good with the containment on the arched midsole that you get. I would prefer a protruding outrigger, but the arched midsole that you get, along with the plastic strip that wraps up to the materials and also helps you sit in the shoe. That way you won't experience any lateral instabilities because of that. And when you move into the midfoot, the Anta logo gives you enough lateral stability. That way you won't have any imbalances when it comes to hard cuts going side to side, as well as the TPU heel counter in the heel, which is really good when it comes to heel containment, and I didn't experience any imbalances in the heel because of that. For torsional support, the carbon fiber shank that is top loaded makes the shoe very rigid without being too restricting overall. It had enough flexibility and torsional rigidity. That way you won't experience any stiffness while having enough maneuverability. That way you can do anything that you need to do. And the base of the shoe is nice and wide, with the outsole itself being really flat, with the grooves being flat with the outsole itself. Gave it a solid platform under your foot. That way you have a solid platform to land on and you won't have any instabilities when you're coming down in your own 2 feet. So the support for me overall was pretty much perfect, aside from the lack of a protruding outrigger, but the arched midsole that you get does enough. That way you won't experience any teetering when you were on an angle of the shoe. So it does its job, and it is pretty good overall when it comes to support. So to sum it up for you guys, in my opinion, Kyrie has knocked it out of the park with Anta when it comes to making a really solid all-around basketball shoe. The traction is really good, and it gets the job done for most court conditions that you're going to be in. The cushion is one of the best in my opinion, with a really lively, responsive, and bouncy forefoot, along with a plush, comfortable heel cushioning as well, giving you really nice and easy strides going up and down the court and making you feel really fast at the end of the day. Materials are pretty good, along with the overall aesthetic choice, which is pretty cool to rock on and off the court. Lockdown is overall pretty good, and the support ticks all the boxes when it comes to what you need when it comes to support in the shoe. And I really liked playing in this shoe. The moment I tried them on, they were absolutely amazing, and they felt great and performed well when it came down to my play style, when it comes to getting open, getting rebounds, anything that I needed to do, I was able to do it with ease, and I really enjoyed it because of that. Thank you guys for watching this video. This has been my performance review on the Anta Kai 1s. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and comment down below if you actually got a pair of the Kai 1s. I'd like to know your thoughts on how they felt for you, and if you were able to get the other pair, the navy colorway, which I tried to get, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get. So if you have any experiences that you would like to share, feel free to comment down below, as well as any other questions that you might have. And if you want to stay in touch with me, stay up to date with future videos that I'll be posting, hit the subscribe button down below, and it'll greatly support the channel as well. And if you want to follow me via social media, all of that information will be in the description box below if you guys are interested. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I hope this was beneficial to you guys. And until next time, keep shooting.